Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you, good folks, wherever you're joining us from. Pace and power, boots on the ground. Good to have each and every one of you here with us tonight, folks. And let's welcome you officially. We must have the bell, folks. We must have the bell. Share the live. Smash that emoji button. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button. We are happy to have all of you here with us. If you can, partner with us as well, folks. We're going to share the link in just a bit so we can keep on moving, folks. Pace and power. Good to have each and every one of you here with us, folks. We are ensuring that we are shared in all the right places too. Great to have all of you on the live tonight. Sukchan Sudhar, we see you there. Shan McPherson, we see you as well. Stacey and Soul, we see you there. Onessa Wardine, we see you too, Onessa Ward. And all the other folks joining us on the various pages across social media. We're happy to have all of you here with us. Good night, Irwin Don, Clarexis, Charmley Richmond, Onessa Wardine. Sandra Facey is here too. Good to see you, Sandra. Good to have you, Patricia Graves, Andy Goodman, here with us too. Great to have you, Debbie Apple. Good to see so many of you in the ring tonight. How are you folks doing? How has the day been, folks? Hope you hit the ground running this morning. Perhaps you haven't even stopped yet. Irvin Don Cook, good to see you at our end, folks. Andrew Griffith, great to see you as well. Diane Graves, Andy, Elizabeth Williams, good to see you. Andrew, Norma Jones, Shinsing Henry, Angela Jordan, great to see you as well. Happy to have all of you folks in the ring with us, folks. Debbie and Abigail, Wayne, Sharon, good to have you. Kim, great to have each and every one of you in the ring with us. Good, folks. How are you guys doing this evening? How are you guys doing? Do let us know. Pace and power, boots on the ground. We can get a guest or two dropping by, folks. A guest or two dropping by. We might be hearing from Trevor Benn this evening. We just might be hearing from MP Ganesh Mahipaul this evening. And of course, Trevor Benn is the one of the newest members, folks, duly elected last Saturday at the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union special general meeting there, countrywide in Georgetown at Crucial Labor College. Duly elected folks, himself and his team, overwhelming victory. And I see the chief cooperatives officer trying to come around them funny. We can talk about that later on, folks, as we hear from Trevor Benn and also the Ganesh Mahipaul. A lot happening. Is a REO reshuffle, they tell us. Is it an REO reshuffle? Good to have all of you folks. As you come on, hundreds of you are already with us. Share it live. Smash that emoji button, folks. Whether you're joining us on Facebook, you're joining us on the Tube, you're joining us wherever you're coming in from, do share that live, folks. Pace and power. Forbes Meduse is here too. Good to have you there. Forbes said, I'm looking out for some surprises tonight, but I don't know. I don't like one of us got dance on our heads. I don't know. Tommy Gibbs, Mario Bella, Angela. Yeah, good to have all of you here. Debbie Collins, Pastor Sion, Rodney is here too. Eunice Beaton is here. Lynette Cox, Evelina Whitaker is here. Karen Bailey is here. Belinda. How are you doing, Belinda? And all the other folks joining us. Lynette. Great to have you folks with us. Share that live for us. Smash that emoji button, folks. We are live. We are fired up and ready to go. We're just waiting on you, folks. We got the fight card set, folks. I will have you know that. We're not wasting no time tonight. We got the fight card set. Lynette Cox is here. Evelina is here. All the good folks. Pam Hall is here too. Good to see you, Pam. Kellon Dan is here. Galen Nowadays is here as well. And Desiree Albert is here too. Cheryl Glenn is here too. Great to see you, folks. In live and living color, as we say, folks, in live and living color. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. Share it live for us, good folks. Smash that emoji button for us. Pace and power, good folks. Pace and power. We got to open up for you. Open your palate. It's dinner time. Help you guys to bring out the flavor. Give you guys some fine wine. Just in case you missed it, folks, the teacher are off of strike action. They are off of strike action officially, folks. Take a look and take a listen.
The strike called by the Guyana Teachers Union is over. The teachers took strike action on February 5th. Initially, the strike was to last for 2 weeks. However, the government ignored the teachers, perhaps believing that the strike would collapse. The result was that schools were closed for almost 5 weeks. Last night, at the end of a mediation instigated by Justice Sandil Kusun, there was an agreement that the government and the teachers would meet from Thursday. In the wake of the agreement, GTU President Mark Light took to the airwaves to explain the situation.
The union, in its wisdom, would have agreed through the mediation process to end the strike. The reason why we have come this late to you is because the matter just concluded in the court. If we had gotten this information earlier, we would have given it to you.
There was disquiet in some quarters. People contended that the government couldn't be trusted to honor any agreement. Some felt that the teachers were let down.
To trust your leaders, trust the union in its judgment to bring about the kind of outcome that we anticipate. And what is different in this matter? It is not different in the sense that it is not the same way as how the 2018 matter was dealt with.
In 2018, there was an agreement signed in the presence of the chief labor officer. In this case, the chief labor officer failed to be the mediator.
So this was a court-ordered mediation that is even more binding than the one the chief labor officer would have signed on to in 2018. The agreement inked this afternoon will become part of the court records. We wanted the collective bargaining process to commence. That is why we went on strike. We have achieved that the collective bargaining process will commence on Thursday. I don't see that as being a loss.
The teachers are scheduled to return to work tomorrow. The issue of money being deducted from their pay will be determined on March 20 when the court hears the substantive issue. Meanwhile, discussions on the increased salary for teachers and other issues will begin on Thursday.
Yeah, welcome back, folks. Welcome back. I agree with those who say don't trust the PPP. And yet, we got to give the process a chance to work. Or you never know. We got to keep one eye on them. We got to keep one eye on them, folks. And that's how we starting this evening, folks, with recollecting how we got to where we are with the suspension of the Guyana Teachers Union strike. Massive strike action, folks. A call in a number of weeks. The teachers were out there. And kudos to all of those teachers in every region of our country who had slippers on the ground. Kudos to each and every one of you folks. Let's hasten on. I'm so eager to get to my guest tonight. So eager. Let's hasten on to some of the things we're covering. Internationally, we bring you back region and then we back into 592. Back into 592. We're coming in for landing, folks. How many of you were caught up in this huge outage of the social media networks? Meta in particular, Facebook, Instagram, Messenger were all down to the up to date. We were trying to do some work on Facebook and couldn't get a chance to do that. And I saw that very, very malicious Elon Musk. He's competing with Meta. Malicious Elon Musk, who owns Twitter. I saw a tweet on Twitter that says that we got power here. I don't know if Meta's plugged into GPL or what, and they got some role in that oil leaking there in Tobago, right? But Meta couldn't find its footing today. Couldn't stand up today. Facebook was down and Instagram was down. Messenger was down. We're just happy it looks as though things are better. And I don't know how many of you felt that, folks. Some of y'all can't live without your social media things, Some of y'all can't live without your phones and this and that. Minute you take your phone out your hand, your skin side itching, so something is wrong. Something is wrong. But things look like they're much better now. Much better, folks. Haiti's a head scratcher right now. Haiti is a head scratcher right now, causing a lot of worry, a lot of angst and worry. I think personally that CARICOM took too long on Haiti. CARICOM allowed this ball to get away from them. That is Haiti's sister CARICOM country has been in a lot of trouble for a long time, but it seemed in the last few years have been coming along. And then you had the assassination of Jovenel Moïse, president there in Haiti, 2001, I think it was, and Haiti has not been the same. And there seems to be an escalation of violence over the past few days. They tell us the gangs have overrun about 80% of Haiti. Armed gangs have let loose thousands, arguably thousands of prisoners in Haiti, and the situation there seems to be escalating. They tell us also the acting president or acting prime minister of Haiti is overseas when all of this was going on. He's trying to drum up some support internationally, folks, for the Haitian cause. And we told you guys in this morning programs, Kenya, as far as Kenya sending police, right? As far as Kenya sending police, what is CARICOM doing? You ask? I'm happy you asked.
Gangs are now roaming the streets of Haiti. Up to Monday night, the international news agencies were reporting that gangs control some 80% of the capital, Port-au-Prince. These gangs attacked a number of prisons and freed hundreds, some say thousands of prisoners who are now roaming the country. Today, President Irfanali, as chairman of CARICOM, issued a statement on behalf of the Caribbean community.
CARICOM has been singularly focused on the events unfolding in Haiti over the last few days. The expanded bureau has been meeting separately with Prime Minister Henry, the stakeholders in Haiti, and our international partners to bring resolution to this highly complex matter, where persons' lives and livelihoods are at stake. The complexity requires us in these consultations to ensure that a Haitian-led and Haitian-owned solution may be achieved as soon as possible. We remain deeply engaged and will update on the outcome of our deliberations as soon as practicable.
Yeah, brothers and sisters, that's what the CARICOM chair, Irfanali, said there concerning Haiti and what's going on. Interesting, though, he wasn't speaking as president of Ghana, but as chairman of CARICOM, and the CARICOM flag was noticeably here. Pick up the pace, Irfan. Please and thank you. Pick up the pace. We're wasting too much time on CARICOM, folks. Come on, Caribbean leaders. Come on, step it up. Policemen got a coming tail from Kenya. You know, shame on us. We dropped the ball in Haiti. We have dropped the ball in Haiti, folks. That being said, I want to bring you guys closer. Venezuela, Elvis Amoroso, the National Elections Commission there, National Elections Commission chair there in Venezuela, said that July 28th is the date for elections in Venezuela. That's what they're telling us. So I guess you can look forward to Maduro kind of ratcheting up the rhetoric there concerning Escobar. Look out for it, folks. Look out. And then we got some very thin skin, weak spine people at this end here, not doing us, any favors at all. But we got to be strong. We have to be strong. July 28th is the date of the general elections in Venezuela. General elections, yeah. Will the will of the people prevail? We shall watch and see. So expect, folks. Expect again, some ratcheting up of the rhetoric there. You all know you good for that. You all know Maduro good for that. You know you good for that. That's what we're following, folks, at that end. Yeah, bringing you all in. Bringing you all in slow. Bringing you in slow. Now we're in 592. 592. Wake up there for London. Don't look for any lights. Don't look for any lights. Yes, you know what we're telling you, folks. Don't look for any lights. Just know that we're landing. Good to have each and every one of you on the broadcast this evening for just joining us. Remember to share. Smash that share button for us. Smash that share button for us, folks. Smash that emoji button for us as well. We're coming in for landing, folks, and you all the ones for me there. It's a lot. Don't let anybody fool you. It's a lot. Yep. First up, folks, signs of the times. Signs of the times, I tell you. Signs of the time. Look what we're following, folks. Young woman 24 years old, I think they tell us, stabbed to death. Can you believe that? At Purika, stabbed to death. Folks, we're in a bad way. We are in a bad way in this country. 24 years old, and she was stabbed to death yesterday, they tell us, by her drunken husband during an argument at Purika Bagdam, East Coast, Babis. Oh my God. Nikisha Sutton, they tell us, lost her life about 1,700 hours. The woman packed some clothes in a bucket and was making her way to her sister's home when the suspect reportedly broke up one of the bottles he was carrying and stabbed her in the neck, fleeing the scene afterwards. Yep, a manhunt has been launched for the suspect. Well, I don't know why you don't stand up as a man. Why are you running? Why are you running? Why are you running? We cannot afford to continue to have our women folk treated like this. And I hope when they find him, they hang him high and they stretch him real wide. Nikisha Sutton lost her life. Domestic violence. This is one of the scourges in our society. And people like Vindhya Prasad, who had it in a remit to make some movements on these issues, got to do much more, not just one day a year. You know, you roll out some placards and you take a couple of photographs and you say, this is our country. We got to do much more, folks. Yep. Nikisha Sutton, stabbed to death, Purika Baknam, yesterday. Our thoughts and prayers go out to her family. Look how it's going. We show you how a lot of things start. We didn't often get a chance to see how it's going. Look how it's going. Remember the young man who lost his life picking fruits in some tree. They said he was a thief. That's what some reports said. Shaquille John had gone with some friends picking fruits in a tree, folks, and as he was climbing over the fence had some, was deliberately had electrical wires exposed on it, and he was electrocuted. They said when the farmer returned home, saw his body there, burned the body, folks. You don't think it is in this country? No, it's not. No, it's not, folks. It's not. So young Shaquille John lost his life. Said he was just 22 years old. Y'all see the assault of the youth, folks. They got a devil loose, 24-year-old woman in Purika, Miss Sutton. Then John here, 22 years old, folks. Mother milk still in their face. Look at the issues they had to contend with in life and lost their lives. Ultimately, it's a lot happening. They tell us the farmer who reportedly burned the body instead of calling the police, when he saw this body on the fence, they tell us, has been released on $1 million bail. We're watching that. Our heart goes out with the family. Life taken so senselessly, honest to God. So senselessly. Right? Walk good, Shaquille. Walk good. That being said, folks, we'll keep you all abreast with that. So every day in this country is some misery we have to face. It's something getting worse and worse as we see it. Folks, welcome if you're just joining us. Sorry to be the bearer of such bad news, but it is what it is. You're now joining us, folks. Take the opportunity to share the live. Smash that emoji button, folks. Pace and power. 0 points. 0 points. Pace and power, folks. 0 points. We saw your boy recently on the East Coast. Kwame McCoy on the East Bank, rather, talking about how oil revenues are being invested in the people of this country. They believe because they build a road, somehow your hunger is satisfied. You build a road, your light bill got paid, your rent, your mortgage, what have you. Folks, is your life better off since we started pumping oil? In the last administration, put in the infrastructure, put in the framework for us to benefit from this wealth that we have out there, folks. From this wealth we have, we need the surface of the earth. And this government got the opportunity to reap those benefits that no other government in the history of this country has ever had. Have you benefit? Have you feel like so you're benefiting from what's happening out there? McCoy out here selling dreams then. He said this government is investing in the people of this country. I see Tommy Gibbs use a word there, kakabelly. What does that mean? Yeah. Folks, it's sad. People are suffering in this country, and I tell you all the time, good folks, don't take my word for it. Pre-Sabbath news on a Monday. The cost of living on you. Right across the religious divide, social divide, ethnic divide in this country. People are having a tough time financially. A tough darn time financially. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. We ain't going to sugarcoat it. Good folks. Wicked, stink, and dirty. Y'all know what we're talking about? Huh? The chief cooperatives officer. Wicked, stink, and dirty. Look nonsense they're trying here now. Look nonsense they're trying here now. I hope Trevor said, look nonsense they're trying here, folks. Let's give you a quick update of what's going down at the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union. Let's give you guys a quick update. The wicked stinker, this is what I want to tell you. The trench carpos who occupying the offices illegally there at the Guyana Cooperative Public Service Cooperative Credit Union, just like Asha Kisoon, just like you had the parliamentary secretaries in the National Assembly, only Waldron were occupying seats illegally. That's why I want you. Let's give you all a quick update. The CCDO today asking for a whole host of things. Suddenly from Team Ben, a whole host of things. If this CCDO, Janak Not Pancho, was so interested in credit unions, why didn't the CDO present himself at those elections? He wanted to see this, and he wanted to see that, and he wanted to see the next, and I thought the court is seized of this matter. That was the impression I had. Where was the CCDO on Saturday? Sleeping at the wheel? This is your work. What you doing? You understand that this union is a special case because of the characters that are the helm there, that were just voted out, and convincingly so. You understand the characters that we deal with, and you didn't present yourself at the union election. Shame on you, CCDO. Shame on you, Mr. Pancho. Shame on you. You should take another job, because this isn't the thing for you. This is not the thing for you, folks. This is not the thing for you. So the CCDO has asked for a number of things. The CCDO don't know what is the union's membership. You're taking your work seriously. You should know that at the back of your hand. You should have to ask somebody for that. You got a list telling you 25,000 on the membership. Who gave you the list? Here's nonsense. It has been brought to my attention. That's the CCDO. It has been brought. Who brought it to your attention? The members of the union, or this cabal that's squatting illegally? This cabal that was voted out. Who has brought it to your attention? Who? That's what I want. Who? Trevor! Rock and come in. Man of the hour, Mr. Trevor Benn, joining us, coming out of a big win over the weekend at the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Special General Meeting. Trevor, welcome to our broadcast.
Thank you, Sherrod, and good evening to your listeners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you and all the listening members of the public.
Great. Happy to have you as always. Talk to us a little bit about the results of the electoral process, the election process of the special general meeting last weekend, and how did things go?
So we are very happy with the outcome of the meeting, the special general meeting held last Saturday. We are also very happy with the way the members reacted and participated. Sherrod, this is the first time in the history of the credit union that so many people participated in a special general meeting, let alone our annual general meeting.
Hold on. Talk to us a little bit about that very aspect, that historic nature. A lot of people more than usual, maybe in comparison to the last one you had when you were elected first. Talk to us about that and how it differs.
So over the years, when annual general meetings are held, for example, we have never had more than 500 people in the history of the organization. Special general meetings are very rare in the organization. Maybe I could count on my one hand the number of times there has been a special general meeting of the credit union. So this is very historic. The first time we have had a special general meeting with this level of attendance. I believe that the members of the credit union were very energized for the first time in the history of the credit union. And we it in the numbers of persons who participated, who registered to participate, the number of people who voted, and so on. You see the enthusiasm in the room, in not only in Georgetown but in the other regions. The feedback I got, people were really excited to vote. The issues at hand were very dear to many of the people, and they wanted an opportunity to be part of this historic moment, and they showed up as was expected, and they delivered
Yeah.
on our request to them.
And
So
I was there too as a member of the union. Felt the energy in that room. Saw a couple times persons, of course, associated with the Gang of Nine, try to disrupt the events of that day. But people, to me, my own personal sense, just wanted to get on with the business of the credit union and not focus on the side attractions.
yes, that's very true. That's very true. You know, we was delayed in the starting of the meeting because there were some people there who sought to um, distract from what was going on. They came there specifically to break up the meeting. They're thankfully members of the credit union would not have it, and we were able to proceed with the meeting on time, and we got the results that we got on the day. Again, the number of people voted is historic. Um, there's never been any person in the credit union to receive the amount of vote that I get this time.
Which was over 1,800, and I think the returning officer said just over 1,900 persons would have voted, and you were well over 1,800 votes of that 1,900 plus.
In 2021, we had over 1,300 people voting, and I had over 1,200 votes as well.
Yeah.
So 2021 was the second highest number of people ever participated. So there, I believe there's something to those numbers, and
Yeah.
we have got to give the people the benefit of their participation. The challenge we have in Guyana, unlike any other country in the world, there is a requirement for a quorum, which, by the way, we met, and the chairman made it clear that we met the quorum, and that's why the meeting was started. But the quorum that is set by law is very erroneous on credit unions in Guyana. None of our meetings can be convened or have been convened in the past without the CCDO being involved, because we are never able to meet the quorum. But I believe part of the
And
challenge.
this is trade union. This is these are trade unions. Sorry, credit unions of trade unions. The AGMs historically have never been able to do that.
Only credit unions and co-op societies have this issue. Credit union is a co-op society. Nevertheless, we did it for the first time in the history of the country. We've done it. And I'm very proud that I was able to lead this team that made this possible.
And Trevor, you were saying there's something in the numbers. I think it means that you have a mandate from the members of this union to deliver.
Yes. So you were there, Sherrod, and you heard the members made it very clear who they want to run this credit union. They made it very clear who they did not want to run this credit union.
Very loud and very plain language.
Yes, in that you know that the members of the committee of management, the former committee of management, had an opportunity to participate in this election as well. They chose not to participate. They came there with the expectation that we would not have had the numbers to hold the meeting. And so they did everything, by the way, leading up to the meeting to frustrate our efforts of getting the numbers to know what quorum there should be. The day before the meeting, they sent us a letter saying that the number is 25,000 people. 5,000 people include dead people delinquent members, people who do not have paid up shares, etc., etc. And in calculating the quorum, you cannot use a list with all those people. This is an issue that we have been talking about at the national level, the national elections. And we wanted to make sure that it's not replicated at the credit union level.
Yeah.
And why we asked them, 9 times they were written to, asking for this list to be provided with a breakdown, and they refused.
Trevor, I think it was the court who said that they should do all things in their power to ensure that you guys had the necessary resources and so on to run this election off effectively and have this special AGM and effectively.
They did that in the negative. They did not assist in any way. They went around the country using the members' money in was illegal and that they should not participate in the meeting. They went to Linden. I got feedback about one meeting they held where a member stood up. That member called me to let me know she had to stand up to them to tell them that what they were telling the people in the meeting was not in keeping with the court's order. They were saying that there was no court order and there was going to be no meeting and people should not register.
Wow.
Region 6, they went to Region 3, they went to Region 10, doing that especially. They also put all kinds of stumbling block at the office. The CEO said that she became ill in the process and she was unavailable for 1.5 weeks because she was ill. And many of the staff were told not to support our efforts. They were actually threatened. Many of them were threatened. So we pulled this off without the support of the Committee of Management. The only thing they did in keeping with the court order is made the money available to us. Like I said, I believe they expected that we would not have had the numbers. And so they themselves did not even register to participate in the meeting. But they showed up. They showed up and they came to create mayhem. And this one.
Yeah, and not only on Saturday, we know the results of that special general meeting and the election for the office bearers of the management committee of the union. But yesterday as well, they started very quietly the new team moving in to assume the roles they were elected to perform, and then again. This team, the Gang of Nine, led by Miss Karen Van Slytman Corbin, seemed to want to distract from just the sole purpose of what the credit union should be doing at this time, and that is moving forward. What were your thoughts as you saw the morning unraveling the way it did, thanks to the Gang of Nine on full display? And by the way, they said that your team, you all are bullies, but it seemed quite different on camera yesterday. Your thoughts?
Cheryl, to say the least, I'm embarrassed. I'm really embarrassed, not for me personally, but for the individuals involved. I have been saying to people over the years that I am part of a very toxic group. And that was what was on display yesterday. That is what Patrick Mentor, Rajdai Jagannath, and I endure on a monthly basis when we attend meetings with these individuals. That gave on a daily basis whenever we have to interact with them. There's always a fight. There's nothing that you could say in the meeting that will not attract someone coming after you, almost in a physical way. Which is why many times I've been asking them for these meetings to be held virtually. Because sitting in a room with these members, it takes effect on your mind. And I would really not like to have a confrontation where it becomes physical, one of these. And so
but it looks as though that is what they were pushing for yesterday. We saw several members of the Gang of Nine, as they're fondly called, in the personal spaces of the newly elected team. We saw, attempts to overturn the table at one point. We saw a former executive. This is of the management committee, an executive of a credit union, sitting on the table just to disrupt the proceedings, banging on the table almost throughout the proceedings. I mean, this was so unbecoming of executives of a body.
Gerald, you would recall when this government came into power, one of those individuals were asked to demit or roll, and the government had to call in the police to remove her. So it's not new. Members of the public should know that this is a trait in the individual, and they must determine whether or not this is the type of person they want handling their funds. I keep saying to the members of the credit union, this is your money. It did not come from the private sector. It did not come from a grant from the government.
Yeah.
It's members' personal funds that they throw every month over the last 60 years that brought the credit union to where it is today. And they must have a say in how the credit union must be run. No government official, although the act gives power to a government official to intervene in the credit union under certain circumstances, our members must demand that their voices must be heard, and very loudly too. In fact, it started on Saturday. Their voices
Correct.
are very loud about what they want for the credit union, and I'm really hoping that our government partners are listening and prepared to act in accordance.
Yep, and not only government partners, a lot of international partners too are looking on. And I guess with fascination, we have lots of embassies and high commissions here in Georgetown, and this can be part of how business is conducted in the private, public sector, and in allied entities. This is, as you said, you were ashamed, and this was very, very shameful to see. No affront by your team yesterday morning, but just these folks unwilling to accept the will of the people who spoke overwhelmingly on Saturday. What has happened since all of that yesterday?
Well, we heard that the chief executive officer has since written to the ministry asking for them to intervene, seemed to suggesting to the ministry that there is a dispute. We do not accept that there is a dispute. This matter is still in the purview of the courts, by the way, because the judge asks us in the last order to report back to him in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Until we report back to the court and the court has signed off on our report, this matter remains in the purview of the court. And any intervention by any government officials would be interfering with that process.
Yeah, the court is seized of the matter at the moment.
We
We learned also that there is some police involvement now physically at the credit union.
Yes, I was told this morning that the CEO requested and had the police placed in front of the credit union. I don't know what's the purpose. I'm not sure. I should let you know that the CEO throughout this process has refused to cooperate with the court appointed team. Although,
But I was thinking maybe the police is there to hold at bay those who were tremendously disruptive yesterday. That was my first thinking.
well, that's not the case because they are happily sitting in the office as we speak.
Mhm. So
They're
you did say that the court is still seized of this matter. You have to report back to the court. That's part of what comes next. But what else are you thinking about? You might not want to play all of your cards now, but do give us an indication of what happens next. How does the union move forward in your estimation?
So we are going to be reporting back, first of all, to the court, but also in tandem, we're going to be hosting a meeting with our members to bring them up to date on what's happening and to seek their guidance as to how we should proceed in this matter. We know that we remain elected and that we will assume office. We will assume office. All of the attempts by the former committee of management will come to an end. We don't want, however, to have a confrontation. We don't want a display such as the one yesterday. It's in some sense, I'm happy that it did occur because the members and non-members in Guyana and internationally now see what I've been talking about in the terms of the individuals I have had to work with in the last 3 years. They've seen for themselves the approach these women have been taking.
And what a display. Yeah. Go ahead.
So it may be embarrassing, but it was a good thing for the world to see what we have had to endure over the last few years. But this too shall pass. We will assume responsibility. I want to give assurance to the members of the credit union that we are doing everything possible to make this happen, and we are calling on them to remain vigilant, remain active. I'm hearing talks about pulling out money from the credit union. Please do not do that. Remain vigilant. Let's meet and talk about the way forward. But all times, let's be diligent and dignified in our approach. Let's not get down to the approach the former committee members have taken. It is not in keeping with our approach to governance of the credit union.
Excellent. Let us end then on that very high note, that this too shall pass and we shall continue to conduct ourselves in a very dignified matter. Trevor Benn of Team Ben, congratulations again, a resounding, overwhelming win last Saturday at the Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Special General Meeting there, and congrats to the entire team. Thank you for joining us.
Much appreciated.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Thank you so much, Mr. Ben, for sitting down with us for that interview. And folks, even despite all of the noise yesterday, a meeting was held in the boardroom, and members of that, the incoming members of the Committee of Management were elected to different positions, even in spite of all of that noise. Some of it kind of quieted down after the police came and had a presence there yesterday, and members were elected from the incoming persons who were elected, Team Ben, to different positions. So a meeting did happen in spite. That's what they wanted to prevent, the meeting from happening. Members, new members of the management committee were elected to different portfolio. But the CCDO, I'm telling you, playing politics. Why the CCDO didn't go to the election on Saturday, folks? Why didn't go? We finished yet? While all that has been happening, folks, while all that has been happening, there has been a quiet reshuffling of the REO deck of the PPP. There has been a very, very quiet reshuffling. Remember I told y'all, March 2nd was marked as the 4th anniversary of the 2020 election, and Irfan had a lot of things to talk. He didn't talk this one. Folks. A lot of quiet reshuffling happening because you had a lot of corruption, a lot of incompetence is in there, folks. They're shuffling the deck. And who better to sit down with tonight, in addition to talking about the credit union matters with the one and only Trevor Benn, who better to sit down with on local government issue than the shadow minister for local government, folks. And he has a summation of how they have performed these REOs, and he has his own opinions of why they're being reshuffled and moved around, folks. Let us welcome the Shadow Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Member of Parliament, and my colleague, the one and only Ganesh Mahipaul. Folks, let's welcome our brother tonight as we talk about the reshuffling of the REO deck, folks. We are very privileged to have with us this evening the one and only Ganesh Mahipaul, Member of Parliament and Shadow Minister of the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development. And this is a work that Ganesh takes very seriously. He has been like a hawk on the People's Progressive Party Civic. And that is why we're here this evening, because Ganesh recently put out on social media that there was a reshuffle of sorts at the local government level. Ganesh, tell us a little bit about that.
Hi, Sherrod. Good evening, and good evening to all your viewers also. I felt at the time when I made that announcement, like if I was in charge of the ministry, because I could not have understood the silence of Sonia Parag, and more so Irfan Ali, because the REOs, they serve at the pleasure of the president, though they are held accountable by the finance secretary for their action. Is basically the president who gets his nominees to be placed there. And people are oftentimes look for qualified people to put in those respective positions because it is really an accounting officer's position, and it requires the individual who is going to serve as the regional executive officer to be very familiar with the financial laws of the country, namely the FMAA, the Procurement Act, the stores regulations, and all the other financial laws that are in there for them to follow and be guided by. It was a clandestine move by the People's Progressive Party, and I am not certain what is the reason or rationale behind it. But, as an opposition member of parliament and as that MP that has responsibility for local government and regional development, it is my job. I am paid to keep a close eye on these people and what they do. And I have happened to have figured out that they were basically doing the reshuffle, and they have moved the REO for Region 1, they moved the REO for Region 3, and they moved the REO for region number, the other one is region number 5. Those are the three that I'm aware of.
And what do you think, MP Mahipaul, is at the heart of this? I know it's not because they're all performing so sterling, in such a sterling way that they want to share that expertise with other regions. What do you think?
Let me make it pellucid.
That has been done in such a clandestine manner.
Let me make it pellucid, Sherrod. No REO currently, none, is functioning effectively and efficiently in this country. And outside of the fact that it has to do with many of them being incompetent, it also has to do with them being subject to political directives from the powers that be, the political powers that be. Now, if I'm to examine all the REOs as they were before the 1st of March 2024, we had Region 1 had Tikaram Bisesar. Tikaram Bisesar served before as Deputy Regional Executive Officer under the coalition. And we have found at the Public Accounts Committee that he neglected his duties at that level as DREO. We have found that things that he was responsible for, many things that he was responsible for, they never happened. Now that he assumed the REO position in 2020 at a change of government, he started to do things differently. I concluded that possibly his actions were aimed at undermining the regional administration during the coalition time. And I told him that. I said, when you were DREO, you had responsibilities for certain aspects of the program, Program 1, Admin and Finance, and you did not supervise your program properly. And clearly it is a dereliction of duty. But in 2020, you were promoted to REO position, and now you're putting measures in place, the same measures that you could have dealt with when you were there as DREO. Don't you think that this is you shirking your responsibilities back then and possibly undermining the then regime or the then administration? And of course, he had his back and forth where he was blaming the existing REO, and we asked him to provide the evidence. Could not have. Region 2, this girl that they have there currently, Suzanne Sewak. I think if Miss Sewak is given an opportunity to function without political interference, she may get the opportunity to do better than what she is doing. She still has, in my humble estimation, she still has a lot to learn in terms of the financial laws and ensuring that she follows those financial laws. But she is subject to heavy political interference. At Region 3, they had Jagnarain Somwar. Well, that was a madman. Somwar was on a whole different level altogether. He saw himself as though he was the father of these staff members and to some extent a grandfather to them too, speaking to them in loose manner, very, very uncouth behavior, and there were so many complaints about him and his behavior in terms of how he was operating. Every morning at 8 o'clock, he has a meeting, and it lasts from like 8 to 10 o'clock, and then 2 hours, nothing of substance but to chastise and denigrate and talk ill about his staff. Even the original chairman, I was told, was so fed up of him that they actually petitioned the government to replace him, and he was one that was replaced. Region 4 has Donald Gadraj. Well, I don't need to go into details about the Gadraj. I think the Gadraj has a reputation in this country, infamous reputation, and they are not the best in terms of management. And we know that there are many allegations surrounding the name Gadraj. Region 5 had Genevieve Blackman. Well, we also know that she was not to the point qualified for the position when she was appointed, and she was also replaced, I'm told, for great incompetence and not really satisfying the political instructions that were coming from the regional chairman and other political directives that were coming from other political people within the PPP. Region 6, they have this gentleman, Narendra Prasad. I think he is extremely incompetent also. Kerwin Ward from Region 7. He is somebody who has been in the system for a long time, has 30-something years in the public system, but I don't know. I think Gail Teixeira may be hampering him also in terms of his political directives there at Region 7. I've heard many complaints of Gail Teixeira sending political directives as to what he must do. Region 8, there is Peter Ramatar, that's Donald Ramatar, brother. So I don't need to tell you where his political allegiance is, and I don't need to tell you how much political instruction is also hampering Region 8. As we know, Region 8, as a matter of fact, the school that was the dormitory that was burnt, that caused this country 20 young lives, was directly under the management of the regional administration, and it was Peter Ramatar, who was REO at the time, that had direct supervision over that dormitory in terms of the physical infrastructure. Region 9, there is Carl Singh. Carl Singh is infamous in his own way, and we remember many stories. People can Google that name, and they will see who Carl Singh is. We know that he was also very integral in the PNC office that they basically stole. And you know that matter is still, I think, engaging the court. And Region 10, they have Dwight John, who is a central executive member of the PPP. So if you go through all 10 REOs, Sherrod, you will see that Region 1 was not a PPP member, Tikaram Bisisar. He was not a PPP member nor a PNC member. He was just an incompetent small individual that knew nothing what he was doing. Region 2, Suzanne Sewak, I'm not aware of her having any political affiliation either. Region 3, Jagnarain Somwar, that's a PPP. He was there in the recount and he was representing the People's Progressive Party. So he was given a job basically for his, what they may term hard work at the recount exercise they had. Region 4 is Gadraj. Gadraj is PPP. Genevieve Blackman, I heard people saying that she is PPP. Narendra is proud PPP from Region 6. Region 7, Kerwin Ward, he's neither here nor there also from what I know, having known him in the public service for a number of years. Region 8, Peter Ramatar, PPP. Carl Singh, PPP. Dwight John, PPP. So 10 of these REOs are People's Progressive Party members. And if they are, well, if they're not members, let me take that back. There are 10 REOs who has displayed on numerous occasions their likeness, their affiliation, their proudness to associate with PPP. 10 of them. Of the 8 of them, of the 10 REOs, I am not sure how many have financial background in terms of their qualification to hold these respective positions. And that is why you're finding incompetence and you're finding a sense of not knowing what they have to do in these respective regions that is causing the need for you to have reshuffles. But look at the reshuffles. Even that is worrying now because competency again comes into play. For Region 1, they have decided to send home Tikaram Bisesar. So Bisesar is no longer in the system and would no longer be a part of the system.
Thanks, Mr.
But
Todd.
they're replacing him with Seo Chand. Seo Chand is the deputy, or was the deputy REO for Region 10 and has now gone as REO of Region 1. I am going to be very kind to say to you, Shara, that I am a bit optimistic with him because he had time in the system and it is expected that he understands the system, and one would expect that you can get something out of him, but we're yet to see that. That's the first one, Seo Chan, given his experience. But I'm not holding him to that either, if you understand me, right?
Correct.
Region 3,
Because
they have removed
experience too, but that's
yeah, that's true. But I want to be fair. I want to be kind.
Yeah.
You know, Region 3, we see Jagnarain Somwar being removed completely, and he's going now to head the Community Development Council, CDC. That's another incompetent group of people there. That's really political lackeys of the PPP that are now a part of the CDC. But the Jagnarain Somwar has been removed and has gone there. They have replaced him with Devanan Ramdat. Now Ramdat he was regional chairman for Region 2 during the 2015 to 2020 period. And in 2020, when the PPP won elections, he got the REO's position in Region 2. And you would remember that there were many stories out there about him when he was serving as REO back then in 2020. And people can Google also and see. But he has no experience in understanding the financial laws. He has no experience or qualification that can show that he is aptly fit for this position. So that is one we will have to watch. And when you have people who are not knowledgeable of these rules and regulations and are politically aligned, they tend to do and follow political instructions, which leads to massive corruption and mismanagement of the sector, thus causing great worry in the scheme of democracy. And then the other one is Region 5.
Is it a lot of that we're seeing, and perhaps the PPP
Yeah.
close to their judgment, but they realize they're coming to crunch time and they got to get a couple of things done. And if these people stay there, my lord.
No, but let's look, Region 5 is even worse. Genevieve Blackman is an educated woman. She has a number of qualifications to her name. I know that. She was incompetent as REO, but she has a number of qualifications to her name. But they have replaced her with Dwayne Adams. Dwayne Adams is the man who always walks behind Irfan Ali with a notepad to write down every time Irfan said, do this, do that, do the other. He writes down, yes, he's Irfan's shadow. He writes down everything. He served as a city councillor on the mayor and city council of Georgetown, I think. And he has not had any, in fact, his first appearance at public accounts was yesterday when we had PAC. And he was in Lost World. He didn't know nothing that was going on.
Lost World.
But I think Region 5 is up for Region. Well, you see, we were going to keep a close eye on these respective regions now because it's coming down to crunch time for elections. They are putting in their political lackeys because these other people they had there, they were not getting enough out of them. And you see, when you have an effective public accounts committee that grills these REOs and so on, they tend to reserve participating in activities that are basically wrong. So we have to ensure we balance it properly and we have to ensure we keep our eyes out for them. But I maintain my position that the 10 REOs are all incompetent and they seem not to understand their roles and responsibilities clearly. I do not blame their incompetence solely on them as individuals, but it is because they are subjecting themselves to political directives from the PPP, Jagabats and Trench Crappos, if I may use your two terminologies.
Correctly stated. That being said, before I let you go, I noticed the subject minister that you shadow, Sonia Parag, quite recently stated that they are working on a grand development plan. I know sometimes you just say these things for the sound effect of it. Do you get a sense this is actually happening? And not only that, that they're doing a development plan for the regions, involving the regions both at the RDC level, the NDC level, and other entities in the region, if it is happening.
Sharad, Sonia was incompetent before becoming a minister. Sonia was incompetent as Minister of Public Service, and Sonia remains incompetent as Minister of Local Government and Regional Development. Everybody saw how she answered those questions in the National Assembly. They were very, very simple questions, and she still could not have provided clarity and answer to the nation. So her degree of incompetence, I think, is higher than any other person within the ministerial level at the People's Progressive Party, and perhaps our incompetence is equivalent to that of Irfan Ali. But at the end of the day, saying that you're doing something and not producing it is something else. This ministry has since 2020 said that they are going to have all of these plans in place, and
Correct.
nothing has come forward. I have even raised it in the National Assembly since 2020. I've been speaking about it. All the monies they get, they continue to spend it out, but you're not seeing any plan. So this is another case where they're just trying to blow hot air and to say that they are going to do X, Y, Z, and then when crunch time comes down, we wouldn't see the end of it. We will not see the end of it. And it comes back to incompetence. And perhaps that is the theme that one can pull across the screen here and say that it's full of incompetence.
Yeah, you know, folks say that that Sonia Parag's claim to fame is the work she did, quote unquote work, during the recount period. And I note that those cases, the alleged electoral fraud cases, are about to get underway, and they have signaled that she's going to be called as a witness. So I guess all things being equal, she continues to earn her keep.
Yeah, well, I heard through the grapevine just when Dharamlal was sent off in a gracious manner that it was she who was begging really to come at local government because she felt as though public service wasn't giving her the stage that she wanted, the performance stage. And all clowns, they look for a good stage to attract big performance and so on, and an open gathering. So in all fairness to her, she begged. I don't know what else she did, but everybody knows that she begged for this position. Now she has it, and it's her job to perform. But I'm not optimistic at all about her performing after that abysmal performance in the National Assembly when it comes to the estimates and answering those questions.
Correct, correct. Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipaul, Shadow Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, thank you so much for on such short notice joining us and bringing clarity to this matter.
Thank you for having me, Sharon, and do have a great rest of the night.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks again, Ganesh. Thank you so much. There's a lot happening, folks. There's a lot happening. The people shuffling the deck so quietly. And thank you guys for being here with us in the thousands. Please and thank you. We're counting close to 4,000 at our end. I know some of you are just seeing the numbers at your end. We have 1,900 plus joining us on YouTube. We got 1,800 plus joining us on Facebook. And then we have some other places we've gone through to as well, folks. Wow. Thank you so much for being here. Lyndon Gill, Yolanda, Ingrid King, Rosetta, good to have you. Edward, God love, Rhonda Gordon, Ray Andrews, Vanilla Garnett, good to have you. Georgiana, Ansing, Lester, Shelley, Rosetta, Joy Dotson, all the way there in one. Good to see you, Joy. Great to see you, as a matter of fact. Lorraine Stevens, we see you as well. Anthony Jarvis, we see you too. Lester Thumb, how do you do? And all the other folks joining us. We're going to have to leave it there. That's going to do it for us this evening, folks. Yep, that's going to do it for us. That's the last bell. Again, thanks to all of you for being here. Lester Williams, Joy, Enid, Laverne, Ingrid, Diane, Graves Andy from 10. Good to see you, Diane. Robin Kendall is here too. Lester, Tom, good to see you. Out front parts. All of you folks, there we go. Good to see you. Great to have all of you on the live tonight. Marcel and Evangelina, or is it Evangeline Fiddle Albert? Good to see you too. And all the other folks. Jack Powers. Alan, good to see you, Jack. And the other folks joining us there. David Papin, we see you as well. Sandra Hanover in 4. We see you, Sandra. Debbie. Folks, we're going to see you guys in the next one. Stay safe. Please and thank you. Until our next podcast. Stay safe.